Gruesome Magazine.
Hello once again, I am Doc Rotten, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Yes, each week my co-host Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Dave Dreher, and I will take a look at very spooky, scary, and gory genre, hiccup, offerings.
And Doc has a stroke on air.
There are no pirate movies this week.
Anybody know what that reference is? We review Bad Hair, streaming on Hulu. Yes! If we can get through it without me just passing out right now here. All right, joining us tonight, of course, is the one and only Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
That makes me happy. That makes me very happy.
When I killed it down, there was some hair there, but oh well.
Well. Bad scout.
I'm okay with that.
All right. Also joining this week is Crystal Cleveland, the Living Dead Girl. How you doing, Crystal?
I'm good. I mean, this movie makes me feel a little bad about complaining about my hair ever, but
ever?
Yeah, I'm never gonna complain again.
No moss for you, huh? No moss, right? All right, we'll get into this. This is gonna be fun. All right. Of course, we always want to round out the crew with the one and only Dave Dreher. Dave, how you doing, bud?
Hello. It's good to have us all back together. It seems like we all haven't been
I know. It seems like you've been gone forever.
I was gone, then Jeff was gone, and
I was gone once. And,
Chris
was here.
I'm out. See you. I'm gone. All right. No, I'm stuck. I'm here. I'm glued to the seat. All right. What we're doing tonight is Bad Hair, playing on Hulu. Let's take a look at the stats here. It's streaming on Hulu beginning October 23rd. Director and writer is Justin Simien. The cast includes Elle, Lorraine, Waithe, Pharoah, stumbling over everything tonight, Lena, Waithe, Kelly Rowland, Laverne, Cox, Chante Adams, James Vanderbeek, Usher, Blair Underwood, and the incredibly beautiful Vanessa Williams. All right. The synopsis is in 1989, for those who can remember that year. An ambitious young woman gets a weave in order to succeed at an image-obsessed world of music television. However, her flourishing career may come at a great cost when she realizes that her new hair may have a mind of its own. Possessed hair. That's what this is. So what we do here to review the film is we're going to give our first thoughts. We're each going to do it, and then we're going to talk about the movie, and then we're going to wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. You want to stick around for that because that's incredibly awesome and fun. But let's start going. And Crystal, since you volunteered about the hair thing, I really want to know, in what way did this film relate to you, or you relate to the film? Maybe is a better way to put it. But anyway, your first impression of Bad Hair.
Okay. So it's gonna sound. See, that's the face I make when it's like you don't know what I thought about the film. Right? No. I love this movie. I did. Well, at first I started watching it and I thought, is this even a horror movie? Like in the beginning, it starts off slow. Mm-hmm. There's some, development of characters, but then it all pays off and it goes off the rails completely. Like definitely like the last half of the movie it's most certainly a horror movie. And it's funny. And it's super funny. Oh, there's so much to it. I don't even know where to start. I don't think I have like a cohesive way of talking about this film because there's a lot to it. They even brought in this beautiful like slave lore, which I just thought was brilliant, to the backstory of the characters and stuff. And everybody did a fantastic job. Oh my gosh, Vanessa Williams was so beautiful. I mean, she's always beautiful, and she did so great. And she made me laugh probably almost the most. Like, she's like something happened. Oh yeah, I could see that. I love Laverne Cox too as the hairdresser. Yes. Oh gosh, but you know what's awesome about the way that they had her portrayed? Like, she didn't seem creepy at all. She didn't seem like maybe in the know or even part of it. It seemed like she was just doing hair, and that could be the way it was. I don't know. I'm not exactly certain about how, all the pieces interweaved to get it. Yeah. But I think the acting was phenomenal. I think there was a lot of death, which made me happy. Okay, if I had to say anything about the film, there's a lot of CGI, and some of it isn't great, but most of it I didn't mind because it's difficult, and I don't really know. It would cost a lot of money to do a lot of that hair. So, in the effort of saving some money, I completely understand, and I was okay with it. I just kind of overlooked some of that, and some of it. Oh my God, the period blood. Oh my God, I was
Oh
dead.
my God.
It's so funny and gross, and they weren't afraid to go places they maybe shouldn't have gone. So,
That's
yeah.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fair to say, small spoiler, that the hair has a taste for blood. Just so everybody kind of knows what we're going there. If you
I don't
couldn't
think
figure
that's
it out,
not going to give anything away because once you get it, it's like obvious.
It's from the poster alone. You kind of get that idea, right?
Mohr.
But I'm glad you enjoyed it. Let's find out what the rest of the crew thought. Starting off with Dave Dreher. Dave, what was your first impression of bad hair?
Bad hair. Having very little of it, I was very jealous of this film. I didn't know what to think of this. We had a difficulty getting a screener, which usually does not bode well for a movie when they don't want to give you a look at it. You're just like, okay. But we waited for it to come out, like the patient little reviewers we are.
Yes.
And I'm glad we did. It had a real kind of, even though it's set in the late 80s, late 90s,
1989. Yeah.
Okay. It had like a grindhouse vibe to it. I think I even texted you, Doc, and said it's got like a 70s vibe almost.
It's felt very 70s. Yeah.
Yeah. I kept waiting for someone to come on and go, this was a Quinn Martin production. Those of us old enough to know will understand what that means.
Oh my God.
But that worked for it. It worked in its favor. I really liked it. And I liked how they took it seriously. This very much, although it is funny at times, they really play it straight. And you actually feel like these people are being chased around by this cursed hair. So, and my first impression is bad hair makes for a good time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's our singer there. Let me write that down. All right. No, I'm serious. I'm writing that down. Yeah, Jeff, you're up next. What is your first impression of butter?
It was interesting. As someone like Dave, who has very little hair, I'm follically challenged, is what I usually say. It was interesting. Plus, I know nothing about. I didn't have daughters, and so I know nothing about women's hair, let alone black women's hair. So the whole thing was interesting to me. I do know, just that there's a cultural problem sometimes in how black women are encouraged or forced to like straighten their hair. Straighteners have been a thing in culture for a long time, and that it's a problem, and that too many people making the decisions about that stuff are white guys, running makeup and hair companies and stuff. So maybe not the right products. So this was a neat take, I thought, and it kind of melded in sort of. It was sort of, I don't know. Was MTV still going strong then?
Oh yeah, BET and MTV.
Yeah,
that's what it was trying to
all
be,
of them,
right?
yeah.
So like
exactly.
Music video,
she was trying to do like a TCL live thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like the next generation kind of thing. So I found all that really interesting. I really liked. I kind of would have liked a little more of the moss-haired lady folklore that Crystal alluded to, because for some reason I had a hard time tracking when they were explaining that. Not that it was anything difficult about it, but I think there was visual things I was looking at too. So I don't know if I missed some of that or if they just don't bother to give you all of the mythology. But the acting is great. I thought it was really funny. What they do with it is interesting and fun. So yeah, I think this is definitely worth a watch. That's an interesting idea. I like the pairing of the folklore and kind of the African folktale, kind of getting that up front, and even the whole book. So,
yeah, that whole book. There's actually a really beautifully shot flashback where they're back on the plantation and they see the moss tree, and it has like all this hair moss kind of flowing around it. I don't know. Did you see that part, Jeff?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that was, I mean, this movie is visually a treat when it gets cooking. I mean, the first 20 minutes, I will admit, had me kind of going, what am I in for?
See, you thought, is it a horror movie, right? That's what I was like, is this even a horror movie? Okay.
And so I was enjoying it because everybody in this is really good. The actor's is good. The lead is fantastic. What is her name? Zariah Kelly? No, that's the
is that the Ellie?
Ellie Lorraine. Sorry, IMDb always does things weird. Ellie Lorraine plays Anna Bledsoe, and she is actually really good. Oh my gosh, she's so good, and you really feel, her presence. You understand her insecurity. You understand her desire, and the conflict that has, and then her relationships, and what she wants to do at work. So I mean, there's this big thing that sets up her job, right? It's a huge part of the show or the movie, and it's important because everything kind of centers around all the characters that are in this office.
Yeah.
And it's actually quite great. And it just happens to be that, like, there's one person in the office that keeps handing people the cards to go get their weaves.
And she had one too, right? Or did she? I was like confused about that because hers was so short.
Yeah. I don't know, but I know that some others do. I'm not even sure if she made it through the film. There's one person that dies, and I'm not sure who that person was.
One?
Well, there's a few.
A lot.
Well, there's a lot of people die, but there's only one that I don't know who it was.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I was trying to say. Okay. Anyway, so back to first thoughts. I love it. At the end of this movie, I was like, I love this movie.
Yeah.
I love how the
clever.
It is
clever.
It's
at
witty.
The end.
Oh my god. And there's cameos in this, and they get billing, but they're more like extended cameos, and they're just so like Usher. Usher has like 2 scenes, but they're great. And I don't know. By the end of the movie, I was 100% on board when they're running around and all the hair's going everywhere, and like the elevator bit had me dying. And the one the one girl faking that she's caught so she can sneak up later. Anyway, there's all this stuff going on that I just had a ball with, and I kind of love this movie at the end.
Yeah,
I really did.
I'm totally gonna watch this multiple times because I think there's definitely stuff that I missed. And let me tell you, I think, sorry guys, but I definitely think this movie is definitely geared toward women, because I totally get, like, okay, so I complain about my hair because my hair is, as much as I have it tamed now, it's very kinky and curly, but God, it breaks my heart because I don't know what she was going through. The fact that she couldn't even brush it, I almost started crying in the scene where she was getting the weave and her scalp was like bleeding. It's a little sad. It's really sad to me and heartbreaking. But God, I don't like to get my hair wet, and the whole thing about not getting the hair wet and all, I mean, it's really good. I don't know. I mean, I know it's very girly in a way, but it's really, really awesome. It's really brilliantly done, and I think I loved it. And I love Blair. Blair Underwood. I used to have a huge crush on him.
Used to? What happened?
Well, I mean, he's still Silver Foxy. He's hot. I mean, it was just odd seeing him with like the gray beard. I'm like, oh, I mean, yeah, he's older now. It's so weird. It's been forever. I don't even remember the last thing I saw him.
He hasn't done anything in a long time.
Yeah, no, he still looks good, of course. It's Vanessa Williams, though.
Oh, she looked great. Oh, and she was fantastic. She has a very big role in this, and she is marvelous.
Dry eyes, not my eyes.
I loved her. I loved her. She was so great.
I love her so much.
But really, for me, it's Elle Lorraine. She just stole this thing. She is so good in this, and I think is it her first role? I think it is.
She's fantastic.
Let's see. No, it can't be her first role. No, she's done plenty of things. Mostly TV. So I think this might be her first movie role. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, it looks like some shorts, a TV movie.
Yeah. So
TV
she's
series.
yeah, that's what it looks like. She's in a show right now called Insecure. There's another one called Boomerang. And so this is, but anyway, to be an elite, she was great. I mean, she totally embodied this character. And I really was rooting for her, even though she was kind of dancing with the devil a little bit.
Well, you know what? No. I mean,
she was just kind of she was being tempted, right? And she was falling into it, but she,
it was kind of sad though that some of the people shouldn't have got.
Well, maybe.
I was like, ooh.
Well, she was sort of, it was a kind of a possession of a type, right?
Oh, totally.
In terms of her behavior.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then some of it was like the more she did, the more possessed they became until the witch took over, as we saw, and apparently they're building a whole coven. Thanks to James Vanderbeek. It's so I was like the end. I was like, oh, him. And I think he's a wonderful person, actually. I think that's why it's like kind of funny that he's like this plantation owner guy putting out this hair. I was like, that is so
harvesting the demon hair.
Awful. It's so awful. I was like, ooh. But it's kind of cool. They could keep it going.
Doc, you mentioned the character that pretends to have the hair. That's Lena Waithe. She was in Ready Player One.
She was.
Oh.
Yep.
She was great. I loved her character. She was fun to watch.
Yeah, it's interesting because they're all playing personalities on this channel that has to transform. They're transforming from culture into cult. That couldn't be any more apropos for what's going on behind the scenes. But they want to make them change and everything, and they don't want to. So I mean, there was a lot to really get into, even if you didn't have the possessed hair, right? And that's usually, right, Dave, a really good sign of a good script.
Yeah. And you really felt for our lead because they kind of established early on that she's got the brains and the savvy to be able to pull this off. She just doesn't have the personality. She doesn't have the. She has a hard time with her own body image, mainly because of her hair.
And doesn't have enough confidence.
Yeah.
But it's her ideas. I mean, the stuff that because I think even the first time she has that meeting with the Vanessa Williams character, she's like, oh, that was your idea, and she's like, why aren't you higher up in this company, she's basically kind of pressured into the hair.
The bosses keep stealing her ideas.
Yeah, but what's interesting about what Dave says is maybe that bitch did deserve to get got. Now that I think about it, maybe she did.
I'm pretty sure.
Because she should have been higher up. You're right. Well, she should have.
People were using her because she didn't have the personality to stand up for herself.
And the way that woman attacked her when she's like, "Oh, you didn't come with me." Oh, well, bleh. Well, you know what? She has a right to find her own freaking way and her own job. You left the damn company. Oh, yeah. Like, that's so messy, but I was like, oh, that's sad. And then now I'm like, no, it's really not. She's a bad person. She might be one of the worst person because she disguises herself as a friend.
Yeah. Well, I think, speaking on confidence, I think that is probably best represented by the montage of her walking through the office, walking in the building and going in the elevator and coming out in the office and walking around, because we get a shot of it at the beginning with her as she starts out the film, and you know
Yeah.
she's either invisible or people are kind of
very awkward.
they're noticing for the wrong reason, right? And then when she has the weave and she comes in,
Everyone's like,
it's a totally different story, which
Hey.
just sells her on the whole
Yeah.
the idea of this hair that she's not going to give up on it.
She bumps into the boss's entourage, and you hear somebody say, "Does she work here?" As they go walking away,
Mm-hmm.
in all the production meetings. So,
so I don't know. So Dave, we talk about the gore. Now there is gore in this, and Crystal kind of teased that some of it was
teased.
yes, dun-dun-dun.
that's some of it was CGI. I personally didn't have any problem with the CGI, but you definitely notice it. But that's okay. On the gore side, how was it? How's this going to? Are horror fans going to enjoy the gore that's in here?
I think they will. I mean, it's not buckets. I mean, there's definitely some, but I wouldn't call it a gore fest. Would you call it a gore fest? I don't think it's a gore fest.
No, it's not a gore fest. No.
But yeah, I think it's again, it plays to the story, which is what we needed to do. The CGI is quite disturbing in some parts of it, but I really don't see how you could do a lot of that practically.
Yeah,
I don't
it
know
would
how
be
that
a
could be
lot
done.
of money if they were able to do it.
But sometimes though, it really works.
There are times, and then there are other times when it's. I think the fact that sometimes it works so well, when it doesn't work well, it makes it stand out even more.
Maybe.
Yeah,
there's a time when there's like, for lack of a better way, a hair war, and you kind of see, the hairs all around the face, and you get it's just like, wow, that really looks fair.
Yeah, and the elevator scene, which again I know we don't want to give too much away, but the elevator scene works really well too. Yeah, I think it's in the trailer actually.
It is. It is. Although I had no idea which character was which when I saw the trailer or whatever ago.
No, I didn't either. But it looked good.
Yeah, I think they establish a great backstory, and they also establish a great creature, for lack of a better way to describe the witch or witches that.
I'm so glad witches are making a comeback. Like, they're so hot right now. Witches are the new, clearly. Yay.
Move
Thank
over,
God,
zombie.
zombies.
Vampire.
Thank God. I'm so over zombies.
The new zombie.
Ready for witches.
Yep. All right. So it is time to wrap up. We're going to give our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. This is what you've been waiting for. So thank you for hanging around. But before we do, hit the subscribe button. If you like what you're seeing, please. It'll help other people find us as well. What do you look like you're dancing?
Yeah, because kind of like the movie, like, don't they break dance then or something? I mean, that's the style. Oh God, whatever. Just subscribe. Just
subscribe.
like us.
We'll stop dancing if you do.
I will.
And then hit the like button, hit the bell, leave some comments, all that jazz. All right, let's get into this. Let's do our final thoughts, our score, and favorite scene. Vanessa. Hi, Vanessa.
That's okay.
Crystal, you are up first.
You can call me Vanessa anytime.
Oh.
I love her. But okay, so obviously I think why? I'm not. I love it. I'm like, she's hot. What was I talking about? I was thinking about Vanessa. Okay, so I totally think you should watch this movie, obviously. I think it's great. I think it's definitely geared more toward women, but I think guys are going to enjoy it too.
I did.
Yeah, it's really trippy. It's fun. It's other than like the beginning part, it really picks up and like stuff is happening. It happens rather quickly. I am going to give this a 4. This might actually make it in my top 10.
I think it might, yeah.
Because I'm definitely going to watch it again, and I think I'm going to like it even more. I think I wasn't prepared for all of what I was about to see, because some of it threw me for a loop. And I'm going to say, I mean, there's a lot of favorite scenes, but I'm going to go with the one I already mentioned with the little suckling, the period, because that just it actually made me want to throw up. And the way she reacts is even funnier, because she's like, I'm going to pretend like that never happened. It just killed me. It just killed me. I thought it was so funny. And that's something I think you could probably only get as a woman, but I'm like, I felt that. Yeah.
I didn't have it.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. All right. I think it's Dave, right? Or is it Jeff? No, it's Dave. We'll go with Dave. Dave, you're up next. What is your final thoughts, your score, and favorite scene?
Well, yeah, it was fun. I mean, it's definitely geared towards women, but I think pretty much anybody would enjoy this. It's a good story. It's very character driven. You really end up falling for this girl. I really thought the beginning was okay. I didn't feel it was that slow because we start off with finding out why she has a touchy scalp. So I thought it actually led into the story quite well. I'm going to give it a 4 as well. I don't know. It seems like every time now we review a movie, we say it's going to be in the top 10. They can't all be in the top 10.
I know. I got
I was thinking about that earlier. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if this will make it into the top 10, but it's definitely a must watch. And this season, a good time to do it. It's a good movie. My favorite scene, I'm going to go with Crystal. I think it was you who mentioned it before, but it really disturbed me. I don't know why, but it's when she's getting the weave and we see them weaving it into her scalp and it's bleeding. I'm like, oh my God, do they actually do that? Does that actually happen?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
really?
It does.
Do that?
Yes, it does. Because pulling on that hair, it's so sad. That's why it makes me want to cry a little bit.
That whole scene was just fascinating. I had no idea that women have to tolerate.
They actually sew it into their skin.
Well, they don't sew it into the skin. They sew it into the hair, but because of the way it's pooling, it can almost practically, it can make absolutely. I've seen him bleed.
It was quite disturbing. It really was. I actually, when I got done watching the movie, I looked it up to see if that's what happened, and they said that scalp bleeding is a common occurrence when they do it. So that is just terrifying to me. I'll just stay bald. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna leave it up to your bald. All right, Jeff, you're up next. Your final thoughts, your score, and favorite scene from Bad Hair.
I'm so I started off by saying this wasn't stuff that was familiar to me, right? It wasn't things I had encountered in my life, and that's okay. That's good. There's not enough horror, especially, or movies in general geared towards women, and I hope this gives an accurate picture. Because I can't tell, but it's certainly an entertaining movie, and I enjoyed it. Wow, you guys are. I'm going to go 3.75, but that could change. I'm going to watch it again because I like the folklore stuff, so I want to pay more attention to that. Favorite scene? This is going to sound really weird.
I know what it should be, the one you mentioned earlier.
Well, mine, no, it's not. It's the body dumpster.
Oh, yes, that's what I was talking about. Yes, that's what I was talking about. Yes, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
I just thought that was so cool. It was just like, troop, flop, and boom.
So great. Oh, that is my scene. That's the scene I wrote down. You stole it.
Good.
I love the way it was shot. It was so, you have people walking in the foreground, and it's great. You'll see it when it comes. All right. So I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. So much so I recommended it to my daughter. I said, who loves horror films, and I usually.
Oh wow.
And I said, there's one on Hulu. You want to watch it now? I think you'll love it, and you'll really get it. And I can't wait to hear what she thinks of it. I love the cast. The cast is so phenomenal. Vanessa Williams is, for me, up for Best Supporting Actress in a Horror Film this year for the Gruesome Awards here. Because I thought she was great. I thought she was absolutely marvelous in this. The depiction of how the hair comes to life just thrilled me to no end. When it goes all everything, it was.
How was that? How was that? Do your hair impersonation again. That was great.
Yeah, when it goes all everything. Yeah, that's a good
everything. And then it just goes wacky doodle noodle. And then there's like one scene where her hair's like all teased out, and she's just like, I'm done with it, and then it straightens itself.
Because why? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gross.
Oh man. Well, yeah, it is kind of fed that, isn't it? But it's I just dig it, and I think you're gonna like it too. I think this is a fun movie. It's fun. Mm-hmm. It is a horror film. It is a comedy, and it's not played for satire. It's not played for laughs. But it is funny. It's funny in the characters. It's funny in the dialogue. It's funny in the situations. it actually does have a couple scary scenes, scary or at least scary-ish, depending on your level of handling scares. I mean, there's some straight up horror scenes in here, and they're handled really well. And it's a monster movie. Putting that out there, and I'm giving it a 4 1/4.
Yay!
I'm giving it a 4 1/4. I really enjoyed this. And
I hate when I'm lowest. I gotta watch it again.
Yeah, well, I know it happens so rarely. It has to be like the anti-Jeff film to do that. And this one, I don't think it's anti-Jeff. But,
no, I think this is kind of something for everyone.
Yeah. So my favorite scene is the dumpster fall, but I can't use it. So what is my favorite scene? I'm going to say I'm going to go with what I mentioned earlier. It's the hair wars, and there's this part where, it's in the office and there's a big battle and it's really fun. And
are they fighting though? I kind of thought they were like saying hi.
The hairs?
Yeah, I kind of thought they were like.
I think it was a hair dominance thing going on. For sure.
I
it was kind of hard to tell.
Who's got the alpha hair?
Who's the queen witch?
Alpha hair.
Alpha hair. I know you. I know you are, but what am I? So yeah, I say if you have Hulu, watch this. I think you'll enjoy it.
If you don't have Hulu, subscribe and watch it.
Yeah,
totally. Cheap bastards.
Yep.
I'll bet you can get a 7-day trial too.
Yeah.
There
get it with your Disney Plus, right? So.
Oh.
we're not getting paid by anybody. We're just doing another thing. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Let's do it. Let's finish. Thank you guys for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed our review. Look for more as we round out the Halloween season for 2020. I can't believe.
Hard to believe.
And it's almost over.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. So, but regardless, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Oh,
Yeah. Celebrate safely, and I hope you had a good time. Jeff, Dave, Crystal, thank you so much for joining me. This was a blast.
Always a pleasure.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Let's say goodnight.
Good night.